Welcome to the Humans in Space Art Virtual Awards Ceremony. My name is Jancy McPhee, and I'm the director of the Humans in Space Art program, and I'm here today with my co-host, astronaut Nicole Stott. We are here at NASA Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. Now, the Humans in Space Art program aims to inspire everyone about the future of space and to get them talking about space and what's inspiring about it. We invite people of all backgrounds to submit online artwork of any kind of format that tells us about their visions about the future of space. Then we weave all that artwork together into multimedia displays and performances that can then inspire others. The Hangout today is our chance to congratulate the winners of the recent video challenge for college students and early career professionals. Our participants were asked to answer the question, how will space, science, and technology benefit humanity? And they had to do so using video 3 minutes long or less. We will have a chance to meet the top 5 overall winning teams and also see their videos and talk a little bit about the power of art to express important messages about space. Now, our judges were asked to evaluate the artwork based on both scientific and artistic criterion. And so I'd like to start today by acknowledging those videos that scored very high in one particular criterion. For technical skill, we have Wanderers, Creativity, A Different Icarus, and AI Results. Production quality, Space Exploration for HISA Challenge, Intent, Spacefaring Generation, and for Final Product, The Space Age is Upon Us. Now, back to our judges. Besides Nicole here, we have a number of other celebrity judges with us today. We have film and TV actor Raja Dekka. And Nicole, did you know that he used to be a NASA Johnson Space Center flight operations person?
How cool is that?
That is totally cool. And we also have film, TV, and stage actor Rico Anderson, and he was in the pilot for Star Trek Renegades. So
I've been looking online at that. Very cool.
we have all the best judges. It's really awesome. We have designer artist Sputniko, who's currently at the MIT Media Lab, and her creations explored the impact of technology on everyday life. So they were all just perfect judges like yourself. We also have representatives from the 5 overall winning teams. We have #WeNeedSpace from Georgia, Promise of the Future from New York, Space Medicine #HISA Challenge from California, The Shadow Puppet Story from the United Kingdom, and Ella from Australia. And these team members will have a chance to introduce themselves later when we screen their videos. So one of the purposes of the recent Humans in Space Art Video Challenge was really to engage people in thinking about the future of space, and particularly about the International Space Station. So Nicole, can you tell us a little bit about the ISS?
Yeah, I think there's, the ISS, if you haven't, seen a picture of it or watched it fly over at night when it's crossing where you live, it is one of the most magnificent laboratories that's ever been built. And, you know, aside from the fact that it's in space and it's this beautiful creation, I mean, it is just incredible. And I think, you know, when we look at it, we need to think about how it was built. And that's the fact that we have over 15 countries that have come together and have built this really complex and successful and integrated facility in space. And so because of that cooperation, you know, we have this facility in space, but we also have these relationships that we've developed on the ground that I think just continue to get better and better because of what we're doing in space. And some of those things that we're doing up there are, you know, very nicely reflected in the videos that we'll see today. And you can look at it from the science of what's going on up there. Every possible area of science you can imagine is represented in some way on the space station, including astronauts being the kind of guinea pigs for the science that's happening up there. And then I think to sum it up, you know, the best is that NASA has a phrase right now that's the way we describe our programs is off the Earth, for the Earth. And we are doing things in space that are helping us learn more about how we explore further off our planet, but ultimately, everything about it is helping us live better lives here on Earth.
That's excellent. Yeah. I totally agree. And you are one of those lucky people that had the chance to actually live for 3 months on the ISS back in 2009. And then you got to visit there again.
I did, yeah.
In 2011 on the Space Shuttle Discovery on its final trip. So as a space flyer, you really know what it's like to be up in space. And I think we'd all like to know whether, as you were developing as a person, from a child and a young adult, do you feel that art influenced you at all and inspired you in some way in your interest in space?
You know, I think it definitely did. As a kid, I was always interested in artistic kinds of things. I was a ballet dancer all the way through high school, and so there, you know, that to look at me now, you might not think that ever happened, but it was a really, really wonderful part of growing up, staying in shape and seeing things from a little bit more of an artistic standpoint. Mm-hmm. I always liked drawing and painting and those kinds of things. And over time, I didn't do as much of that, but it was always there. And I can tell you, after being in space and seeing the Earth the way you have the opportunity through the windows of your spaceship, you know, there's no better inspiration than that. And one of the things that I've really tried to pay attention to throughout my time with NASA has been other people that I work with that are in this space business that I think is normally thought of as more of a technical, you know, whatever side of your brain kind of thing. But I can tell you a significant majority of the people that I've come across have some outside interest mm-hmm. that has to do with art in some way. And I've been keeping a list of those folks. Very impressive work, and you know that on its own is mm-hmm. You know, has merit, and I think it speaks to what we are as engineers and scientists as well. It's about being creative, it's about being curious, and it's about looking at things from a different perspective.
I totally agree with you. As a scientist, I have met a tremendous number of researchers and medical doctors who were also musicians.
Yeah,
and I think that the experience you have in the arts helps to prepare you to do whatever you need to do. And it's also a great way to communicate about space and science and technology. And I think it's time to move on and look at some of those videos that we got from the video challenge. The first video that we're going to talk about and show you today received honorable mention overall, and it's called #WeNeedSpace. It was by Ada Yogli Cortez Pena and Christopher Hernandez, and they're from Atlanta, Georgia. And in this live action video, the artists asked their community to answer the thematic question for the challenge: how will space, science, and technology benefit humanity?
I think space kind of ignites the imagination. We want to go. We want to see what's out there. We wouldn't be so infatuated and spend so much time on it if we really weren't curious about what's out there.
My vision personally, more renewable energy. I'm really passionate about renewable energy.
Supercapacitors, that's replacing these bulky batteries that are very bad for the environment, that aren't recyclable.
More sustainable, better resource gathering, better implementation of the resources that we have.
I think we need to improve the quality of life for people.
Less pollution, or
in my country there are a lot of air pollution. Aerosol chemistry can help us deal with the pollution in the air.
Because eventually we'll be able to grow crops in space and we won't have to worry about, you know, the CO2 levels here on Earth.
Designing like sustainable composting toilets and designing solar-powered carts. Science and technology is constantly coming up with like medicine, new machines, new devices.
Artificial muscle systems that NASA's developing and how that is being used to improve artificial limbs.
Holographic videos and, you know,
smart cars.
More flying cars.
Yeah. Just kind of fuels the imagination.
The spaceship.
Spaceships. Spaceships everywhere. Society in space.
Eventually, we're going to become too big for this planet. We're going to have to spread to other planets, and it's going to be science and technology that gets us there.
I'm really interested in one day going to Mars.
I want to reach Mars in my lifetime. That would be awesome. I'd love to spend my retirement on Mars.
And I think space is humanity's next forward frontier.
I really hope that we can pull that together the next couple years because, I mean, it's going to take a lot of people and a lot of minds together and a lot of hands to be able to go out and do these things. It also gives us a goal to kind of unify towards.
I think it's teaching us to work together rather well.
Knock down barriers between countries and people.
I'm from Puerto Rico.
I'm from India.
I'm from Denmark.
I'm from China.
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
We need everybody to work together and having a goal in mind for something that really captivates the imagination. It's a good unifying thing.
So tell us, what's your vision?
That was totally awesome. And I bet, as an astronaut, you completely agree with the term, we need space.
Absolutely. This is an all about we, all about us kind of thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So we have a chance to meet the artists. So, hi Ada, hi Christopher. Thank you for joining us.
Hi.
It's awesome to meet you. So I was wondering, why did you in particular choose the interview method for your artwork?
So we wanted to capture genuine and organic voices from our community and amplify their messages and combine them into one powerful message. And we thought that capturing our community was the best way to do that.
That's really, really awesome and very much in line with kind of, I think, our shared vision of how we would like the future of space to be, which is very much a collective activity working together as humanity, exploring and on its way possibly to Mars, which I think is a very important target for all of us. So talking about international collaboration, you really highlighted that in your film, and is there anything more you'd like to say about the whole concept of working together and your experience working together to create this film?
Well, we had a blast coming up with the concept, involving people in the making of this film, just having the finding the crew members to incorporate all these artistic aspects to convey certain emotions. Like we used stop motion, we had to learn green screen, and we had to incorporate all these ideas that we had, like shallow depth of field and using time-lapse carefully to illustrate certain ideas. And so we worked together with lots of people to learn new things, kind of like how people work together up in the ISS to do things they've never done before, like one of the greatest challenges. And then involving ourselves in the community and listening to all these people speak and combining all these messages was very interesting to see that we all can support space exploration, and we all have that basic knowledge of that it is beneficial to all of humanity, not only because we can extend life in space, but we can extend life here on Earth with all the great technologies, and by extending the boundaries of science and our knowledge, we'd be able to kind of unite humanity for this common cause. And with this video, we didn't only wanted to involve the people in Atlanta, Georgia, but we wanted to take it one step further and hear people around the world. And that was the best, one of our best ideas for this film was to use the hashtag We Need Space, and we saw this exploded on the internet through Twitter and Facebook and social media. We started to hear other people talk about why they felt that we needed space, and we thought that was great. It kind of sparked the communication for this important cause.
Well, you guys really did an awesome job, and are officially dubbed the ambassadors for the future of humans in space. And I really, really appreciate what you guys put together. I was wondering, Nicole, what did you think about the way the film represented its messages and its message about international collaboration? Did you have anything you wanted to add, or questions, or anything?
Right. I thought it was really well directed, and I also liked the interview method that you did in the film, because it really showed that social community aspect of the whole video. And just seeing so many different people have so many different hopes or views about the future, that alone just sort of makes you think about that diversity that you have in space research. So I think that really worked in the video, that spreading that message about diversity and this community aspect of space research. So yeah, I thought that was really great.
Well, that's great, and I think we all share that opinion. And I just wanted to say that I thought it was wonderful the way you added on you added at the very end, what's your vision? Yeah. That's just a great segue to in coordination with the hashtag We Need Space to just basically open this up as a huge international dialogue. So thank you so much. The hashtag We Need Space video and our next video actually were tied for honorable mention overall, and also were first place in the live action subcategory for our videos. We had different subcategories, and I just would like to acknowledge some of the other live action subcategory winners. For second place, we had How Will Space Science and Technology Benefit Humanity? And tied for third place live action, we have From Life in Space to Life on the Earth, and also SST, Most Influential Innovators of 2024. So I think we're ready now actually to look at our second video for the day, which also received honorable mention overall. It's called Promise of the Future, and the artists were Ryan and Matthew Wilk from New York City. This live-action film describes how space exploration fulfills the deeper need to explore, learn, and grow.
I used to wonder, how will studying space benefit humanity? How could observing the cosmos so far away possibly improve life for the 7 billion people here on Earth? I've come to realize that you can't have one without the other. To innovate and explore are values that are so intimately intertwined with what it means to be human. The universal curiosity to bravely go where no man has gone before is an integral part of humanity's identity. The space program is at the forefront of this initiative. Life on Earth is constantly improving. We are advancing technologically at a more rapid rate than ever before, with every passing generation becoming smarter, healthier, and wiser. Be it through scientific breakthroughs or technological innovations, the space program ultimately makes life better for every living being on the planet. Like the wake of a ship, the discoveries we make among the stars radiate down and ultimately benefit all of humanity. Innovations made by NASA have seeped their way into homes, grocery stores, airplanes, and automobiles. Things like cell phones, GPS, solar energy, artificial limbs, and countless medical technologies were all created in part by discoveries made by NASA. As the quality of life in first world countries improves, life in less fortunate nations improves as well. Basic necessities like access to clean drinking water, food, electricity, and heat are more globally available than ever before. We wouldn't have been able to innovate as rapidly or as successfully as we have if it weren't for the space program. I imagine each generation's achievements building on top of their predecessors, like the sections of a totem pole with rudimentary tools at the bottom and the International Space Station at the top. Having been built and operated by people from around the world, the International Space Station is a symbol of humanity's universal quest to explore the unknown. With space as a vantage point, we have a new perspective and new wisdom on how to solve problems here on Earth. The stars above mirror the infinite possibilities ahead of us. Gazing up at the heavens, we are reminded that every one of us are explorers, pioneers of tomorrow, and the space program propels us into the future.
Wow, that was really some amazing narration and footage. It was really awesome. Thank you so much. And Nicole, I saw a picture of you there.
Kind of surreal.
Yeah. And actually, you know, we wouldn't, back here on Earth, we wouldn't really have a good feeling for what it's like to be in space if it weren't for the astronauts who take lots of still and video images. And I think that you took quite a bit yourself. You want to talk about that a little bit?
I did. I think even if you're not a photographer, when you go to space, you become one while you're there, especially if you're living on the space station for months at a time. The windows that provide you with this just incredible view of our planet, of your spaceship, of this, you know, deep dark black of space. I mean, it just sucks you in to take pictures. And so pretty much every astronaut that's up there on station, if there's free time, you are in the window just being amazed. It just surprises you every time you look out there.
And we are very grateful because not all of us get the chance to fly in space, and being able to know what it's like, what it would be like to look down on the Earth is really just a tremendous value. So let's get to our artists in New York City. So is this Matthew?
This is Ryan.
Ryan. Hi, Ryan. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
So in your statement to us, you told us that perfecting the narration was actually the hardest and most time-consuming part of your video, and also a very powerful artistic device. You want to talk a little bit about why you chose to do narration in particular as part of your plan?
Yeah, ever since me and my brother were growing up as children, our father was really into space. He'd always be bringing us to different space conventions and lectures, meeting different astronauts. And we felt now as young adults that kind of gave us a very unique perspective that we could shine on what space means to us and to the world. So we thought it was important with the narration to really get a good sense of everything that we've learned growing up and meeting all these different astronauts and trying to incorporate that into the narration. So we really want to have a sense of looking back as well as looking into the future of what the future holds.
Well, that's really awesome, and I think it's a testament to the value of we as parents to also expose our children to the information that we have about space and science and technology, and also to expose them to art, as we're discussing today. And on that topic, I just wanted to let you know that when I screened this video at the Houston Comic Palooza, there was a tremendous reaction from the audience to your choice of that footage for the child hearing for the first time. That's actually a very emotional bit of imagery that comes at a very good time in your video. So your layout was really spectacular.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. It was very, very effective, and we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Great.
Raja, You were pretty excited about this video when you were judging. And what did you like about this video, and what did you think was most effective?
You know what? These guys, they were just so specific with the narration, the visuals, you know, the messages. I thought it was really well thought out. And a couple things they said that will always be with me is, you know, they said every one of us are explorers, and that the stars above mirror our infinite possibilities. And I think that's incredible. But are you guys able to hear?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But there are many things I liked about it, but those are the main couple things that really stood out for me, and just being the specificity was just amazing. It was immaculate.
That's awesome. Is there anything you'd like to share with the artists, you know, since you have that personal experience having been a part of us here at NASA Johnson Space Center, that you just wanted to relay? Did they capture some of your thoughts in some way?
You know what? We need more excitement like this, I think, in the space program. You know, like you know, as scientists, you know, as professionals, you know, we have you know, an agenda of so many things we're trying to accomplish. But when I saw this video, there was so much artistry. There was excitement. There was a great flow and a rhythm. I think what we all need, and I think it's just a great reminder to incorporate not just the technology and the professionalism, but also our art with the excitement. So yeah, I think they did all that beautifully.
That was really well said. Thank you so much, Raja.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I think now we're going to move a little bit forward. We're next going to screen 3 other films, and they're all from the animation subcategory. So I would like to actually show you who were the animation subcategory winners. And I just want to talk about those that were in 3rd place. We had This Is Our Home and also the Space Video Project. So I think we're ready to show our 3rd video now, which actually was 3rd place overall. It's called Space Medicine, #HISA and HISA was our hashtag for the social media, for the video challenge. It's by Serge Berrig, who is in San Mateo, California right now. And in this high-paced animation, astronauts in orbit around Mars are exposed to deadly ionizing radiation from a solar particle event, and their communication system is down. But wait, all is not lost.
Houston, Discovery, roll program. Right to roll, Discovery.
How will space, science, and technology benefit humanity?
Warning. Solar particle event detected. Seek shielding from radiation immediately. Immune system compromised.
Releasing granulocyte colony-stimulating factor. Accelerating stem cell to neutrophil differentiation.
Immune function restored. Designation Biocapsule. In development by NASA's Space Biosciences Division, the biocapsule is capable of mitigating the immunodestructive effects of radiation associated with space travel.
Impervious to the elements, the biocapsule is composed of carbon nanotubes and implanted beneath the skin. Its potential extends far beyond radiation treatment.
Wow. That is like a total heart-pumping video, and it really, really keeps your attention, don't you think so?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Hey, Serge, can we talk to you a little bit about your video?
Sure.
I am totally curious. What made you choose this topic in particular?
You know, I went through the entire NASA catalog of spin-offs that you guys make every year, and I did a lot of research, and I found, I think it was a Gizmodo article in the biocapsule, where they were interviewing people from the Space Sciences division, and it just seemed like it had so much potential to impact not only astronauts but everybody on Earth, because not only can it, you know, help offset the effects of radiation, it could be used for people with diabetes. It can house insula cells, and so yeah, just the massive impact potential that it had. That's why I chose it.
Well, you did a wonderful job communicating that. And what made you decide to use animation as your communication format? Did you have any part of your process in making that choice?
Yeah, I wanted to play around with some new software. I was using this software called Cinema 4D, and this just seemed like a perfect opportunity to go crazy and see what I could do with it. It brought my computer to its knees, but you know, I'm glad that, you know, I was able to have the opportunity to mess around.
Well, that really is awesome, and it's very interesting. We're hearing that for a couple of you, some of what you put in these videos were new to you, and I just want to emphasize that the motivation you had to learn these new skills and put things together in such an effective way was really terrific. So, Nicole, I wanted to know, what did you like in particular about this film?
Well, you know, there was definitely the fast pace to it, and we at NASA sometimes struggle with communicating things in that way and getting a really strong message out. So I was really appreciative of that format. And you know, I think that there were a couple things about it. There was kind of a which kind of lured you in. I think there was kind of a sci-fi feel to it. But what was really neat was that everything in that video was legit. There was, you know, there was nothing about it, either in terms of like futuristic, having people on Mars, you know, and the implications of that wasn't true. And the things that were being presented that NASA is doing right now to try to deal with those things. And like was said, you know, it's happening off the Earth for the Earth. It's a really nice mix of that. And I think that we are asked all the time, you know, the same question that you put out there, you know, what is space doing for humanity? What is, you know, the benefit of us spending money on going to space and doing all of these, you know, really, I think, awesome things, and then how we communicate it. And quite honestly, medicine and the things that go along with that and the impacts that we can have on people down here on Earth associated with that is one of the main ways that I think we can have the most effective, you know, the effective way of communicating. And you know, so when that came out of this video, I mean, it's just one of so many areas where space is benefiting humanity, and we're seeing that in the collective of these videos today. But I liked that focus on the medicine and how it's, you know, it's not just going to help us here now, it's going to help us in the future, and, you know, help us live further away from Earth than we ever have before, too.
Right, and as a space flyer, you conducted a lot of the experiments that, you know, impact what we learn on Earth, you know, to help benefit here on Earth. Also, you were a test subject yourself.
Absolutely.
So our little laboratory rat in space.
Yes, they like every output product they can get from you.
Yes, okay, that's enough detail.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So I was wondering, Rico, did you have any thoughts or comments about this video that you wanted to share, or anything you want to ask the artists?
Yeah, well, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm a huge geek, and I have to say I really appreciated the sci-fi quality as well about it, and how the way it was executed. It really drew me in a way that helped me understand it. You know, and being a layman, not being a scientist, not being a person who does this every day. So I really appreciated that. It was almost like watching a Marvel movie in a way, because of the way it was explained and the effects that came into that. And I really appreciated that. I mean, I think, we as humans, we want to learn about different things, especially in science, and questions like you both were mentioning in terms of why are we going into space? Why are we doing all these things? And I think this is a great bridge between explaining why we do what we do up there and how it is definitely benefiting. So I applaud your tenacity in that. I think your computer is thanking you, even though it's probably very tired right now. But yeah, well done. Well done.
Thank you.
And I think we all agree that weaving things into a story actually helps to communicate things and help people to remember.
Yeah.
So I think it all worked out very well. And I just wanted to take a moment to actually acknowledge the winners of a third category of videos that we received, which is the mixed subcategory. And these were artists who used film to capture messages expressed through varied art forms. So first place in the mixed category was a visual art piece called Benefiting Humanity, Space, Science, and Technology. The second place was using poetry, and it was called Moments. And tied for third place in the mixed category was One Giant Leap, which was a music piece, and Space Times Calligraphy Performance, which was another visual art piece. So let's move on to our fourth video, which actually received second place overall. It was called The Shadow Puppet Story, and it's by Ross Ziegelmeyer from Edinburgh in the United Kingdom. And this animation follows Newton after his discovery of gravity forward in time to solve various problems that we face on Earth with help from the International Space Station. So when I watched this video, I was thinking to myself, I wonder how many people really appreciate just how valuable using space to do Earth observations really is to protect the planet and the people on it.
You know, it's huge. And, you know, the space station is just one of our orbiting satellites that helps us with that. And I think the thing that's probably the most compelling or interesting about Earth observation from the space station is that people are actually doing it. You know, that somebody's face is in the window with the camera, taking those pictures, seeing it as it's happening. And I think that speaks, you know, to why we have humans in space to begin with. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it, because there's this very human nature about it, that the idea of the exploration, the being there as a person really experiencing it. And, you know, watching this video was a very peaceful thing to me. I mean, it actually reminded me of that. And, you know, some of the statements that were made, of course, you know, we can very easily see, one of the places that stands out to me in this kind of respect is, you know, the glacial action down in Patagonia. And, you know, station flyers have been taking those pictures, actually shuttle flyers before station have been taking those pictures of that same place for years. And scientists are like just grabbing for these photos to be able to see, you know, almost real time what is happening with, you know, with that place on Earth. And then being able to figure out, okay, you know, how do we deal with it without impacting ourselves in some other way? And we have a beautiful planet. It is perfectly placed at this distance from the sun to take care of us. And one of the messages you get from looking out the window is we are obligated to take care of it as well.
Absolutely. It's just critical for us to take care of it.
Yeah.
And having the data on what is happening to the planet and the changes that we're evoking is an important bit of information for us. And I think you already told us that the ability to view the planet also is a life-changing experience for you as well. So I wanted to talk now to our artist, Ross. You said that you used the shadow puppet art so that others could potentially take this story and teach it live in classrooms. Are you interested personally in education?
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear us, Ross?
I can hear you well, yeah.
Did you hear the question?
Yes, I did, yeah.
Okay, we can hear you too.
Yes, my current job at the moment is I work with the Linnean Society to actually educate kids on the importance of natural history, and I'm doing that actually through art. So giving children an opportunity who aren't necessarily able to write essays, as well as they can do art. So that way they can still explain what they mean and their understanding through art. So it's something I'm very interested in doing, yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. That's very much in line with our interests as well. And what made you decide to use the shadow puppet as your artistic device? Are you a shadow puppeteer?
I have to be honest as to why I chose it was two reasons. Well, I always wanted to do an animation. I'd never done an animation before, so I wanted to teach myself a new skill. But it was also because I thought to myself, how am I going to get images of space and the space station and looking down at Earth? And I thought I'd get rid of all those ideas and just cut it back and make it simple. But for me, the most important reason of putting it in this format was the idea of creating a storybook. I remember reading storybooks as a child. They were very simple, but very powerful. And I wanted to kind of set the storybook in the future where children could look back on the past quite proudly of NASA and their efforts. And that's why I sort of had that retrospective view on it and created a sort of storybook narrative there.
Well, it really worked out superbly, and we totally agree with you about everything that you said. And, you know, we here would consider this very much out of the box as a format, and we think a lot about trying to keep ourselves thinking innovatively and imaginatively, and that's one of the benefits of bringing art and science together. Enrico, Ross actually described his film as basic, and I was wondering if you would talk a little bit about what you think might be the value of having a simple art as a communication format.
Well, that's interesting because, you know, as actors, we're always taught that less is more, and that I believe in that. Excuse me. I believe in that wholeheartedly, but I also believe that it sometimes having more can be a good thing as well. In this case, the simplicity, and I don't mean that in a bad way, of what I saw said volumes, and it was a beautiful way of telling the story in a way that everybody could really appreciate, and it was very abstract. I loved it. I really did appreciate I'm a huge fan of abstract. I love that type of art, and you know, it just worked. It just really worked overall, and I applaud that because it is something that could be taken anywhere and done at any time. So yeah, bravo.
Well, thank you. I think we all totally agree with you and are very pleased that Ross could be here with us. There was a touch and go moment there where we weren't sure he'd be able to come and join us today. So I appreciate your making that possible. So I think the next thing we're going to do is to take a moment to have a message from another one of our celebrity judges, who was the musician, actor, and film producer Lance Bass.
Congratulations to all the winners of the 2014 Humans in Space Art Video Challenge. Thank you for using your creativity and talents to share with us your vision for the future of space exploration, and thank you for inspiring us all. Space exploration has led to new technologies and discoveries that make our daily lives here on planet Earth better, and there are many more discoveries to come as humans venture further into the solar system than ever before on the journey to Mars. Ella is the story of a deep space traveler who witnesses the harshness and beauty of space on her journeys, ultimately bringing her experiences back home to the people she loves to make their lives better. Congratulations to Team Ella, the winner of the 2014 Humans in Space Art Video Challenge.
Talk to her. Gracie, I'm your sister Ella. Since I last saw you, I've been doing a little travelling. I worked at the International Space Station for a while. I was a waiter at a zero-gravity restaurant. When I saved up enough, I moved on. I never stopped moving. I watched as we harnessed the power of the stars. I saw countless moons and planets. I listened to every flight engineer I met go on about their inventions. I finally got a job in exobiology. And then I heard you were sick.
Well, that was indeed a really beautiful and inspiring film with original animation and music. And you've already told us a lot about all the things that motivated you to become an astronaut, but I was wondering, is there maybe one thing in particular you want to share that inspired you?
Well, I'll tell you, there's a lot of things. I think everything about being in space inspires you to want to do it again. I can't imagine when I'm 95 and if somebody asked me would I want to go back to space and work there and do the kinds of things that we were doing there, that the answer wouldn't be yes. And so when we watch this video, when we watch all of the videos, there's just kind of this innate inspiration about going somewhere and doing something that you could never really, I think, otherwise imagine doing. And I think that's where art and the different ways we've seen this presented today is so inspirational in itself. And if we can do more and more of this kind of thing to reach out to audiences that might not otherwise be thinking about art or space in the same way that we do because we know we love it, this is a wonderful way to communicate. And I imagine that a lot of people will be inspired to look up and think about where we live and where we can go because of these kinds of things.
Well, that's excellent. Now, who do we have from Team Ella with us today?
Hi.
Hello. Can you introduce yourselves, please?
Hi, my name is Jess Cahill. I am the writer and director and producer of Ella.
I'm Crystal. I played Ella. Hi, I'm Marley. I was lead animator.
I'm Anne. I'm the art director.
Well, it's so.
And this is Team Ella.
And it is so awesome to meet all of you. And I was wondering whether you could talk to us a little bit about your choice of animation as your communication form for this video.
Well, animation is really perfect for space because you can create anything you want. And as much as we all want to go to a different planet and film it and show everyone, what it looks like, we can't do that yet. So, animation was a great way to, express different kinds of planets and what they might look like and being able to create anything and show it to other people.
So it's our chance to imagine the future of what it's going to be like when we actually can see these things with our own eyes. And your message is very much about the value of research and technology, especially medical technology, that we learn in space and use in space for benefits on Earth, but you also say that it's also equally important that space is for pleasure. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. I love to travel, and I know that one day I would love to go to the moon but not as a scientist because, that is something that I don't think I'll be able to do. But as a traveler, in the future when it becomes cheaper and easier for random consumers to go to space, that's exactly what, you guys are trying to do at NASA, is to make it cheaper and more accessible. And even now there are companies that are, trying to expand into that industry to, bring regular consumers to space rather than just scientists.
I think you're absolutely right. I think one of the important points we need to communicate to the world together is that there is a role and a place for everyone in the future of humans in space. And I think that your film really relays that, and we really appreciate that. And I was wondering if we could go to Sputniko, and perhaps you could tell us a little bit about what in particular you liked about this video.
Great. Do you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, that's great. So I thought it was just amazing, beautiful animation, and also wonderful music. You composed the music for the film as well, right?
Nathan Cummins, he couldn't be here tonight, but yes, he was our composer.
Yeah, so I just love the music too, and the scene at the Zero Gravity restaurant, that's really fun. And I can see a bit of references of David Bowie's Space Oddity, a little bit. Did you, yeah, did you add that a bit? And then as a female artist, I love the fact that the main character is a woman, you know, and she's got strong will to explore space and, you know, do good for her sister. And I have a question about actually the final scene, because the final scene has that it's quite speculative, you know. It's there's a bit of fiction, but then and what inspired you to create that final scene? Were there any research or anything you read or you saw in the film that made you imagine that final scene?
Really, with the ending, I wanted to really express how going to different places will, you know, bring us different, but like biological environments, and how we will be able to, you know, take resources from them and, you know, use it, like experiment on them like we do with products from home, and use them for medicine and to help heal people. So that was really part of the inspiration for that final scene.
Great, because I think a key to getting more people to imagine the future is sort of mixing the real and this big, you know, speculative fiction, because, you know, unless you imagine it, it doesn't happen. So I think if you can think it, if you can dream it, you can make some of it happen, you know, 10%, 50%. And I think that's a really key point that arts could do with something, you know, like space research. So I think it was an amazing video. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nicole. And Raja, I just wanted to quickly ask you, Ella did a great job demonstrating the relevance of space exploration. And again, as an ex-one of us, what did you think about that?
I think Ella's selflessness, you know, like right off the bat, she's someone we can all relate to. She's very lovable and she's very sweet. And then just, you know, automatically you have an amazing story, and when you incorporate that to the greater good, which is something we're all capable of bringing, you know, toward a greater humanity, I think you've just nailed every element you could think of. But yeah, I think to answer your question, it's just you know, taking, you know, kind of like thinking outside the box, I guess. Thinking outside the box in the respect that we have an amazing story. We have the character that, you know, like we all have an Ella in our life, and then it's like at the very, very end, you know, she kind of grows as well. She kind of evolves a little bit. You feel like she's a little bit innocent, a little bit naive in the very beginning. At the very end, you're like, wow, we could also get to that level if we really, really put the work into it and have that undying belief and just that belief in humanity. But yeah, I think it just you know, long story long, you know, it has every element you could ever want. You know, it's pretty awesome.
Well, thank you very much. I think you sort of summed everything up really very beautifully. I think it's about all of us growing as we explore space. So now, sadly, I need to wrap things up, and I just wanted to thank everybody for participating with us today, both in the challenge as well as in the virtual awards ceremony. And in a moment, we will have final credits roll that will list all the team members for all the videos that we mentioned today. And we hope that all of you will participate in video competitions and contests that we have in the future, because it really is very important to us to know what your ideas are and your visions and your views of the future of space are. And honestly, it really takes all of us working together to inspire the world about space. So thank you again, everybody, for everything you've done, and we look forward to the next time. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. Thanks.
Beautiful work. Beautiful work. Look forward to working with all of you all in the future.
Congrats, guys. You guys all deserve great things. They're coming.
Yeah.
He means that. He speaks from the truth.
Thank you.
Way to use art to tell the story and to really express yourself.
Thanks.
Guys are right.
Great video, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I think that's it.
I think this is it.
Yeah.
Now let's keep looking at each other.
All right.
All the best.
Everybody.
Well done, everyone.
The next time. That's it.